Hi, I'm Johannes, a designer on the Lightroom team. At Max, we just released a big update to Lightroom, changing the way selective edits are made. We call it masking. If you're familiar with Lightroom, you might know what selective edits are. For example, you can use tools like the linear and the radial gradient to accentuate the light in a scene. With the new masking feature, you can make automatic selections, group them in masks, and use any of the tool in any way you want. Let me show you what I mean with 4 ways you can use masking in your work. This feature will work the same way on all your devices, on your phone, on your tablet, Lightroom on your desktop, and in Lightroom Classic. Let's get into it. On this image, I want to make the sky more dramatic and add more texture to the building. For that, I'll go to masking, I'll create a new mask, and I'm going to use the select sky feature. This will automatically detect where the sky is, and I can easily make an adjustment just to the sky area. I also like the structure of this building. I want to bring it out more by adding more texture to it. For that, I'm going to create a new mask. This time I'm going to choose Select Subject. It made a really good job detecting the building, and all I will do is add a little bit of texture, actually a lot of it, and some clarity. Let's compare before masking and after masking. Before masking, after masking. For my second edit, I want to work on my phone. I want to make the subject pop in front of the background. For that, I will create a new mask, select subject, and you see it selected the subject pretty well. For this, I want to boost the exposure just a little bit, add some contrast. So now I want to darken the background. And what I can do to do that, I could now duplicate this mask, or I could just simply create a new mask with the same subject. But now I will want to invert the subject selection so it detects the outside of the subject. The first thing I'll do is simply inverting the selection, and now I'm selecting the background, and I'll lower the exposure, this one, before and after. There you go, the guy stands out even more. With masking, we also brought 2 features of Lightroom Classic to desktop and mobile, color and luminance range masks. I'll show you what they can do. On this image, I want to change the color of her shirt. The way I can do this now is by simply going into masking and creating a color range mask. I'll select the color of her shirt, and now I can make an adjustment just to this color area. So let's say I want to make her shirt more greenish, or actually more purplish. And I don't need to just shift the color. I can also make other adjustments like exposure and texture to this area. You may have noticed how the original range mask did capture some of the color in her hair. Now with masking, I can use any other tool to refine my mask. Here's how that works. From the list of masks, I'll choose this menu to add or subtract from this mask. In this case, I want to subtract from this mask using the brush. And now I can simply brush over this part like an eraser to refine my mask, and her hair will not be affected anymore. Let's move back to the phone. This photograph from Lightroom user Aidan Caceres already looks great. What I like to do here is to darken the background with a linear gradient from the top and lower the exposure. Obviously, this also affects her in the foreground. So as you might have guessed by now, I can now choose to subtract a part of this mask using Select Subject. Now, this edit will not be affecting her. The next thing I like to do is to add a little bit of clarity and texture to her hair and shirt. I might probably start using a brush with my finger, which is obviously hard to do with precision. It would be great if the brush would only work on her and not on the background. And here's how I can do that now. I'm going to add another subtract tool. I will choose Select Subject. But in this case, after I created the subtract subject, I will also invert it, which means everything outside of the subject will be removed from the mask. If I keep working on the brush, it will simply always act on her hair and never go into the background. If you have a cool edit that you'd like to share, post it to Lightroom Discover, a community of millions of Lightroom users who can see your edits step by step. Check out this edit by Lightroom user Chase that has 57 masks. And if you want to, you can let other users remix your photo or save it as a preset. We can't wait to see what you're going to do with the new masking feature in Lightroom. I also love to know what you think about the feature, so drop a comment below. Thank you.